in the national anthem. I now call upon Chaplain Lieutenant Ngwenya to lead us in prayer.
Let us pray. Transcendent God, we come before you today with gratitude and humility. We thank you for the gift of life and for the opportunity to gather for the official opening ceremony of the engineering institution of Zambia 69th Annual General Meeting and Symposium. We acknowledge your presence and seek your guidance in all that will be said and done. Lord, we lift before you the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, and all the leaders present. Uphold them with your grace and bless them indeed. As we reflect on sustainable energy, smart mining, and regenerative agriculture, inspire us with knowledge, innovation, and responsibility that we can work and save our country and the coming generation. May this gathering be fruitful, guided by wisdom, and marked by peace. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Guests of honor and encourage you may take your seats. The rest of us can also follow to take our seats. Our guest of honor, the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, the Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development, Honorable Engineer Charles Milupi, invited Cabinet Ministers, the Provincial Minister for Southern Province, Honorable Credo Nanjua MP, the President of the Engineering Institution of Zambia, Engineer Wesley Kaluba, the Secretary to the Cabinet, Mr. Patrick Kangwa's representative, Miss Naomi Teta Mashimba, PS, Special Duties Cabinet, Her Worship, the Mayor of the City of Livingstone, Madam Constance Mleabai, the Registrar and Chief Executive Officer, Engineering Institution of Zambia, Engineer David Kamungu, the Council members, Engineering Registration Board, members of the United Party for National Development, National Management Committee, the Permanent Secretary for Southern Province, Dr. Namani Monze, invited permanent secretaries present, senior government officials, their district commissioner for Livingstone, Madam Eunice Nawa, invited district commissioners, members of the press, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome to the Engineering Institution of Zambia 69th Annual General Meeting and Symposium here at the Avani Hotel. A quick run-through of what is expected today, even as we are in the ceremonial opening of the conference. We will immediately go into remarks by the Provincial Minister, Honorable Credo Nanjua. Immediately we are done with introductions here. Then that will be followed by remarks by the Registrar and Chief Executive Officer, Engineering Institution of Zambia. Then thereafter we will have remarks by the Platinum sponsor. That will be followed by remarks by the President, Engineering Institution of Zambia, Engineer Wesley Kaluba. That will be followed by remarks by the Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development, Honorable Engineer Charles Milupi. Then the Minister will have the pleasure to call upon the guest of honor to deliver his keynote address. Then thereafter we will go into the Engineering Excellence Awards and we will guide. And immediately after that, we are going to have a presentation of a gift to our guest of honor, the President of the Republic of Zambia. And then thereafter, we will go into a vote of thanks by the country manager, First Quantum Minerals Limited, Engineer Godwin Vene. And then we will go into the closing protocols. My name is Messi Ngoma, your master of ceremony for this particular function, and I am with a very lovely lady from the EIZ. Please do the honors.
Thank you so much, Messi. Thank you, Your Excellence. We're really excited to have you here today. My name is Ntalasha Yulu. I'm the head of public relations at the Engineering Institution of Zambia, and I'm going to be co-emceeing with Messi Ngoma.
Thank you very much. Without wasting time, I quickly call upon the host minister, the Minister of Southern Province, Mr. Credo Nanjoa MP, to give us welcoming remarks. Thank you.
The guest of honor, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, President of the Republic of Zambia, His Royal Highness Chief Mukuni and other Royal Highnesses present, the Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development, Honorable Engineer Charles Milupi, MP, and other Cabinet Ministers present. Mr. President, in the interest of time, I wish to write on the protocols already prescribed. The guest of honor, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege to warmly welcome you all to Livingstone and to Southern Province for the 2026 Annual General Meeting and Symposium of the Engineering Institute of Zambia. We are especially honored by the presence of the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema. Mr. President, your presence, sir, is a clear demonstration of the importance of government attaches to the engineering profession and its role in national development. To our traditional leaders, particularly His Royal Highness Chief Mukuni, we thank you for your continued guidance and for hosting us in this culturally rich, historic area. Guest of honor, ladies and gentlemen, the Engineering Institute of Zambia continues to play an important role in promoting professionalism, integrity, and competence within the engineering sector. As you gather for this annual general meeting, your deliberations will no doubt contribute to strengthening the profession and supporting Zambia's development aspirations. Engineering is a key pillar in the development of any nation. In Zambia, guest of honor, it underpins critical sectors such as infrastructure, energy, water, and transport. It is through your expertise and dedication that we are able to design, build, and maintain systems that support economic growth and improve the well-being of our citizens. As a province guest of honor here in Southern Province, we value the contribution of engineers to our development. We remain committed to supporting initiatives that promote innovation, sustainability, and inclusive growth. Mr. President, through you, sir, EIZ has been having conferences here, year in, year out, and we appreciate that. But today, Mr. President, we want, as provincial administration, to ask EIZ to leave something that is going to be appreciated for generations to come, to design us a modern university here in Southern Province. Distinguished guests, without preempting the detailed and forward-looking remarks that will be delivered by the President, allow me to simply emphasize that the platforms such as these are essential for dialogue, collaboration, and professional growth. They provide an opportunity to reflect on progress made, address emerging challenges, and explore new opportunities within the sector. As you participate in this symposium, I encourage you to engage fully, share knowledge and strengthen partnerships that will advance both the profession and the nation. At the same time, I invite you to take advantage of your stay here in Livingstone by visiting one of the world's most spectacular natural wonders, the Victoria Falls, known as Muso Tunya. It stands as a symbol of the beauty and pride of our country, and I encourage you to experience it during your visit. And through my office, I can permit you to stay 2 more days as long as you are ready to invest in tourism. Guest of honor, Mr. President, as I conclude, let me once again welcome you as the President of the Republic of Zambia and all delegates to this important gathering. I wish you productive deliberations and pleasant stay in Livingstone. Mr. President, I welcome you all to Southern Province and to this event. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable, for that profound speech. At this point, allow me to call to the podium the Registrar and Chief Executive Officer of the Engineering Institution of Zambia, Engineer David Kamungu, to give his remarks.
Before I give my remarks, with the exception of the high table, I would request all of us to be upstanding and pay our respects to the late Uncle Maxwell Hichilema, who passed on this week. We can take our seats. Thank you. May his soul rest in peace. The guest of honor, the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, the Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development, Honorable Engineer Charles Milupi, Senior Fellow of VIZ, the Honorable Minister of Livestock and Fisheries, Engineer Peter Kapala, the Southern Province Minister, the Zambia National Service Commander, Lieutenant General Malichi Solochi, Fellow of the EIZ, the Engineering Institution of Zambia President, Engineer Wesley Kaluba, Council members present, senior government officials, EIZ past presidents, my colleagues from the EIZ Secretariat. It is my distinct honor and privilege on behalf of the Engineering Institution of Zambia to warmly welcome you all to this year's annual general meeting. Allow me to extend a very special welcome to our guest of honor, our Republican President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema. We can put our hands together for our guest of honor. We truly appreciate your coming, Mr. President. Your attendance underscores the value that you have placed on us as engineering professionals. I also want to welcome all delegates, local and foreign, who have made the journey to be with us here today. I would like to pay special recognition to our foreign delegates, led by the FAO President, Engineer Refilwe Buchalezi. The AGM and Symposium comes at a time when Zambia is positioning itself for accelerated economic transformation. As members of EIZ, we embrace the challenge to positively contribute to the production of 3 million tons of copper. Engineering stands at the center of this transformation. To our members, we deeply value the diverse expertise and perspectives that each one of you brings. Together, we can continue to build a stronger, more innovative institution that responds effectively to the needs of our country, government, and its people. As an institution, we remain committed to regulating the profession, upholding standards of practice, and ensuring that engineering continues to contribute meaningfully to national aspirations. This gathering provides an important platform not only for statutory reflection as we conduct the business of the AGM, but also for the thought, leadership, and engagement through the symposium. Over the course of the event today, we will be deliberating on key issues affecting the profession and explore practical solutions that respond to Zambia's developmental priorities. We note with gladness significant restoration to the mining and fiscal sector as these act as catalysts to the growth of the engineering sector. May I also take this opportunity to express our sincere appreciation to our partners, to the Ministry of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development, and our sponsors for their continued support. Your contribution remains critical to the success and impact of our work. Once again, I warmly welcome you, guests of honor, and all wish you a productive and engaging meeting. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Registrar. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to recognize some of our sponsors for this event, those that made this event possible. These are companies that have not relented in believing in our vision and provided unwavering support over the years. Ladies and gentlemen, the Zambezi River Authority for sponsoring us platinum. We have the Mamba Collieries and Barrick Lumwana for sponsoring us in the category of gold. We have First Quantum Minerals and Canona Power Company for sponsoring us in silver. And then we have Zesco in bronze. Allow me to bring to the podium the platinum sponsor, Engineer Mujarazi Munotafawa, to give some brief remarks.
Guests of honor, and President of the Republic of Zambia, His Excellency Hakainde Hichilema, Honorable Cabinet Ministers present, Provincial Administration representatives, the EIZ President. With your permission, may I just say all protocols observed. It is both a great honor and privilege for me to speak to you at this annual general meeting of the Engineering Institution of Zambia. As the Zambezi River Authority, we continue to value the importance of the EIZ in our development plans and operations. The EIZ has over the years provided its members who have served in various authority levels. This has not only ensured that we continue to have close relationship with EIZ, but that the Zambezi River Authority also benefits from the stewardship of EIZ. We remain appreciative of the fact that the EIZ membership has served at the highest levels within the authority, namely the Council of Ministers, the Board of Directors, in providing direction that aligns government national development plans. The authority is also grateful for the continued close collaboration with the EIZ leadership. This includes the collaboration and the support that EIZ has provided during the development and implementation of complex large-scale infrastructure projects. The EIZ undertook various engagements and field trips to the Kariba Dam. As you may be aware, we are just completing the rehabilitation of our iconic dam. As the implementation went through and progressed, we had all the oversight of the EIZ. Through this support, the authority has been able to undertake the plunge pool reshaping and spillway refurbishment works of the Kariba Dam rehabilitation. It is also worth noting that the EIZ has played a critical review but supportive role, especially in the work of the impacts of climate variability in recent years. Southern Africa has seen increase in the prevalence of droughts and floods, with several countries declaring disasters in the wake of these challenges. For the Kariba catchment, we have seen frequent droughts also that have placed increasing pressure of the continued availability of water resources of the Zambezi River. This has called for upscaling of efforts for ensuring the sustainability of water utilization, especially in power generation operations. You will recall that the authority did undertake measures that ensured the continuity of power generation operations at Kariba Dam, especially during the 2022, 2023, and 2024-2025 rainfall seasons, these being drought periods. These efforts were successful because we continued to receive guidance and support from both EIZ leadership and the governmental authorities of the Republic of Zambia and Zimbabwe. We want to express our appreciation to the government of the Republic of Zambia and the EIZ for the guidance provided during such drought periods that enabled the sustaining of the reservoir operations at Kariba Dam. One area that we want to highlight that we plan to increase our level of partnerships regarding our development and implementation of more initiatives for enhancing the livelihoods of the communities that were displaced by the colonial government during the construction of the Kariba Dam. In this regard, we intend to take full advantage of our close collaboration with EIZ in enhancing our technical and financial capacity in the implementation of the various initiatives for enhancing the livelihoods of these displaced communities. They say that if you want to go fast, you run alone. On our part, as Zambezi River Authority, we know that with the partnership and collaboration of EIZ and government, we shall go far in expanding the scale and implementation of various projects to the benefit of these communities. This includes in the continued building of new schools, staff housing, rural health centers, water reticulation, and other initiatives for the displaced communities. And within the period, within this year, our Council of Ministers, Board, and Trustees will be seen within the Southern Province, where the displaced communities will be receiving some of the projects which we have been carrying out. The implementation of these projects offers an opportunity for the authority and EIZ to plan to implement initiatives for gender inclusiveness. Working jointly, we can deliberately target the women and youth as these projects and initiatives are implemented. Engineering is how a society turns problems into progress. That is why the Zambezi River Authority has always partnered with the EIZ. The Zambezi River Basin has taught us that no country can manage a river alone. So the same is true for power, water, and infrastructure. No utility, no contractor, no regulator succeeds in isolation. So therefore, there is need to deepen partnerships. That's why, as the Zambezi River Authority, we find ourselves at all times partnering with the EIZ and all our electricity undertaking utilities who work with at all times to ensure that the infrastructure and the mandate which we have at the Zambezi River Authority to obtain the maximum benefit which the Zambezi River can give for the two economies of the two countries, the Republic of Zambia and Zimbabwe. It is therefore imperative that the members of the EIZ position themselves as we get closer to the actual implementation of the Batoka Gorge hydroelectric scheme. As has been the case under the implementation of the Kariba Dam Rehabilitation Project, the Batoka Gorge hydroelectric scheme will also benefit from the skills and experience of the various disciplines and membership of the EIZ. The authority, in its part, will continue to call and rely on EIZ membership as it rolls out those additional water storage infrastructure projects. We at the Zambezi River Authority would want also to pay special tribute to you, Mr. President, being our Chief Marketing Officer in terms of the project, the Batoka Gorge hydroelectric scheme. We know at all the forums we have always talked about it. And with your colleague, last year you declared and even indicated that to show commitment, the two of you will provide $440 million to start up and kickstart the project. And we are very appreciative of that. In closing, we want to appreciate the opportunity given to the Zambezi River Authority to partner with the EIZ in the convening of this AGM and symposium. I want to thank you.
Thank you very much. That was Engineer Muno Dawafa, the CEO of the Zambezi River Authority, the platinum sponsors. At this point, I invite the President of the Engineering Institution of Zambia, Engineer Wesley Kaluba, to give his remarks.
The guest of honor, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, President of the Republic of Zambia, the Minister of Public Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development, Honorable Charles Milupi, Fellow of the EIZ, the Provincial Minister of the Southern Province, Honorable Fredo Nangua, Permanent Secretary is present, the ZNS Commander, Lieutenant General Engineer Maliti Solochi, Fellow of the EIZ, the Honorable Minister responsible for livestock and fisheries. I was going to be in trouble if I left him out. Engineer Peter Chiwekapala, Fellow of the EIZ, the Registrar and Chief Executive Officer of the EIZ, Engineer David Kamungu, Fellow of the EIZ, all members of the Second Engineering Council, distinguished engineering professionals, all past presidents of the EIZ, senior government officials present, members of the press, let me simply say distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is a great honor and privilege for the EIZ to have within our midst the Republican President. I must state that it's the first time in the history of the EIZ, in our 70-year history, that a sitting president is gracing our symposium and AGM. Mr. President, for us, this is not only remarkable, but a testament that you place engineering at the center of socio-economic transformation. And we understand, we share in your sorrow. You've got a bereavement, but you still find time on the date of the Sabbath to be with us without resting. Allow me to express our sincere gratitude to our Republican President for sparing time out of his busy schedule to grace this occasion. Thank you, sir, once again. It is indeed an honor, and I'm humbled. Thank you to all our cooperating partners for your overwhelming support and being an invaluable sound over the years. My sincere gratitude also goes to all invited guests and keynote speakers within the country and across our borders for your supportive and active participation, which is very much a salient part to take this prestigious institution to its next level. I know that you have traveled long distances from various parts of the country and the globe to come and be part of this important event, not forgetting those that are joining us online. Mr. President, the EIZ is the biggest professional body in the country, not only the oldest having been established in 1955 before independence. At the end of Q4 2025, we recorded on our database 100,000 members. Your presence here is indicative of the steps we have made in the right direction and of the possibilities that we are capable of achieving as long as we remain dedicated and stay unwavering. And finally, an event like this doesn't come together overnight. That is why I also want to express my deepest gratitude to the Secretariat of the EIZ, who coordinated this extraordinary event for several months. Distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, engineering is a bedrock for the development of any nation. Every section of economic activity has the roles of engineering and technology. Whether it is raw material, manufacturing or distribution, the challenges the country faces in energy, infrastructure and environment are all engineering challenges. We must play a stronger role in public policy to provide the right incentives for industry and others to move on to a sustainable path so that engineering professionals can be encouraged and supported to design sustainable technology for the purpose of economic development. At this point, Mr. President, I want to thank you and your government for having approved the charge-out rates. As we might be aware, charge-out rates is important to each and every country because it stipulates how much rates can be charged. Whether it's a plumber, a carpenter, someone mending your roof, you do not just guess how much you'll be charging or how much you'll be paying for such services. So now we've got a blueprint, something we can use for estimates to come up with budgets. Indeed, this will add significant value to the engineering value chain. I must also mention that we are inspired, Your Excellency. You have always committed to talking about the iron triangle of project management. You have insisted that projects have to be undertaken within an approved budget and the right quality and within the agreed time frame. We believe these at EIZ are the focus points for us as we deliver projects to add to the transformation of our country. Indeed, we are inspired by that. Mr. President, let me begin by thanking you for approving the charge-out rates. We are very grateful, I've already said. They will get real value for the work that our engineering professionals provide. The Engineering Institution of Zambia has a pool of qualified engineering professionals that can advise and offer solutions to the challenges the engineering sector and the country is facing at large. This is one of our statutory functions included in the EIZ Act number 17 of 2010. We are grateful that you have appointed a number of engineering professionals as ministers, permanent secretaries, and board members to various parastatal bodies. At this point, I must also make mention that in the history of our country, we've appointed, 7 of our members to be part of your cabinet. This is remarkable. It showcases that indeed you are aware that the developed world, looking at Singapore, China, Japan, which are focused on engineering, and you are copying from that. We are inspired truly as an engineering body. It is true that involvement of engineering professionals in politics afford them the opportunity to be part of policy and decision making at the high level. We would like to see the engineering professionals at these levels use their professional knowledge to attract and defend important engineering infrastructure development projects, as well as contribute to the enhancement of the welfare of other engineers, thereby motivating them to higher productivity for national economic development. Mr. President, the EIZ has made it a must to seek involvement in all engineering-related matters in the country so that we can offer our technical expertise. But in as much as the institution has become proactive, we may not be aware of some project plans that the government is undertaking. Your Excellency, may I appeal through your office to always inform us on all your engineering projects so that we can effectively offer the guidance and also their head participation. At some times, we only get recognized when there's an engineering failure, but we are never engaged at the planning stage. Mr. President, without the necessary technical expertise, government becomes prescriptive and risk-averse because it is not able to understand and manage the risks associated with an innovative solution. That is why our voice can never be overlooked. Risk of poor decisions unfortunately increases when we do not recognize the need for technical expertise. Environmental and social consequences are also gaining importance to make decisions green in the long run. Demand for projects in this respect is getting more complex, needing expertise in a wide range of engineering fields. As an institution which regulates engineering in the country, we continue to advocate for strengthened engineering standards, improved infrastructure planning, and the integration of climate resilience into developmental frameworks and key stakeholders to ensure that engineering expertise plays a central role in addressing national challenges. I would be failing if I don't mention this. The recent collapse of the Kakoso Bridge on the T3 in Chilabombo and the substandard works on the Ndola-Tsakanya-Ufuria Road on the Core Belt have once more exposed our poor designs, our poor planning, and lack of quality control in infrastructure projects, particularly on the innovative PPP projects. I thank you, Mr. President, for finding an innovative way to fund public infrastructure in the midst of a constrained budget. And this shows that we are able to innovate. Bringing PPPs shows that we can now allow part of our money to fund other social sectors such as health and education. But within this framework, we have identified certain risks, and we are working with the Ministry of Infrastructure and the Ministry of Public Infrastructure to strengthen these frameworks. I'm happy to report that the Minister responsible for Finance and National Planning, together with our current Minister for Public Infrastructure, have already spoken to myself and assured me that going forward, we are going to tighten the PPP frameworks in the country. Mr. President, we furthermore earnestly appeal to you to consider creating an Engineer General's office. Mr. President, this issue is as old as the history of the country. The engineers have insisted that we need to be placed on the table. Just like we have other professionals attending and advising cabinet inside and not outside, we feel that we can have this office, a statutory office, to assist engineering and standards. The EIZ alone would not be adequate. It will give us a stronger position in monitoring and enforcement of engineering practice and to avoid shoddy works. Mr. President, the institution has been engaging with our parent ministry, the Ministry of Infrastructure, and the National Council for Construction in a bid to reduce the cost of doing business. We are looking forward to have an amicable solution that will not only result in reduced engineering regulation, but improved delivery of engineering works and services. This will diminish poor standards of works, it will protect lives, and the country will not be plunged into catastrophe. Distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, one of the functions of the Engineering Institution of Zambia is to advise the government and other key stakeholders on matters relating to engineering profession. As the country undertakes infrastructure development and at the same time grapples with climate change and other critical issues requiring intense interventions, now more than ever, stakeholders should heed to experienced expert engineering counsel on issues that are critical to the well-being of our nation and its future. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, one of the challenges that we have been facing, not just as an institution but as a country, is non-compliance of engineering professionals and also professional misconduct. Some within our fraternity have been deliberately breaking the rules and the standards. Now in this room, there are heads and decision makers of various engineering institutions, government heads and contractors who know the importance of having qualified people doing quality works. I implore you to be ambassadors in ensuring that whoever works under you is compliant. That's what the law says. This is the only way we can support government and ensure projects stand the test of time. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the vision of the EIZ is to be a world-class professional body that fosters best engineering practice and technological innovations. This vision is not just for us, engineering professionals, but for our government and for all Zambians and future generations. Allow me to highlight some of the achievements that we have made in the last 2 years. After having completed a mentorship phase with the Engineering Council of South Africa, for the last 2 years, EIZ has officially submitted a validated application for accreditation to the International Engineering Alliance. Mr. President, this submission will result in Zambia engineer being accredited to the Washington Accord, which means that we've got a driving license to practice law. Mr. President, this will put Zambia on the global map. By seeking signatory status, EIZ is ensuring the Zambian engineering qualifications are recognized as substantially equivalent to those in leading economies, such as the United States of America, the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, South Africa, among others. It will bring foreign direct investment attraction, investor confidence, knowing that they'll find right engineers in this market. It will promote professional mobility, where our members will be able to cross the borders of the country and provide services within the African Union or outside the continent at large. It will give us an opportunity to access global quality standards through the International Engineering Alliance frameworks. Overall, it will enhance economic competitiveness for our country. The institution has commenced the construction of the first ever Engineering Center of Excellence in Zambia. This landmark facility, situated in Kalumbila, Northwestern Province, is designed to be a premier hub for research and incubation center for state-of-the-art skills and a sanctuary of homegrown innovations aimed at addressing Zambia's and Africa's most pressing challenges. This great initiative is the heartbeat of Zambia's industrial future. no more adoption of innovations. We will be making our own breakthroughs right here in Zambia, in Kalumbila. Mr. President, I must also report that in the last 2 years, the EIZ has finally established an engineering fund. And at this month, we have actually dispersed over 1.1 million to engineering professionals under the engineering fund. The fund is intended to support engineering professionals in terms of engineering research and those that are undertaking projects to address national developmental challenges such as infrastructure development, energy sustainability, climate change mitigation and adaptation, and technological innovation. The list is long. I can go on and on. But each one of you, my fellow engineering professionals, share in this achievement. Shortly, we'll be having an annual general meeting that will tackle operational performance and effectiveness of our institution, and how each one of you, as an individual member, will contribute better our country. Mr. President, let me end by seeking a courtesy call to State House. To have an opportunity to discuss in depth engineering performance and other infrastructure-related issues, and to hear your expectation in detail. We know you might not have the time to tell us all, but we believe when we come, you'll be able to give us more in depth. May God bless you all. I thank you.
That was the EIZ President, Engineer Kaluba. Thank you very much. At this point, I call upon the Minister of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development, Honorable Engineer Charles Melupi, to give his remarks, and then thereafter he will have the pleasure to call upon our guest of honor, the President of the Republic of Zambia, to deliver his keynote address. Honorable Minister.
Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, President of the Republic of Zambia, my fellow cabinet colleagues who are sat somewhere here, some of them are fellows of this institution, even though junior fellows compared to me. But I have here cabinet colleagues, Honorable Peter Kapala, Minister of Livestock and Fisheries, Honorable Rodin Sukumba, Minister of Tourism, Honorable Cornelius Mwetwa, Minister of Information, and all those things. I also have the Minister for the province, who is always hosting us. Of course, the Mayor is here, Constance Muliavale, and yeah, I think he's hiding. Where is he? There he is. Yeah. The SME Minister. He deals with all these things. Of course, the Commander of the National Service, who is our fellow here. Lieutenant Colonel Malichi Solochi. The President of EIZ, Engineer Wesley Kaluba, and of course the Registrar, David Kamungu, Engineer. All the past presidents who are here, and we are so rich of past presidents of these institutions. Members of, representatives of member associations present, and all the engineering professionals here present, senior government officials, the media, and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is both an honor and a privilege to speak to you today at this important annual general meeting and the symposium of the Engineering Institution of Zambia, held under the theme Sustainable Energy, Smart Mining, and Regenerative Agriculture for an Innovative Circular Economy. Big words, eh? Mr. President, this theme is not only timely, it is also visionary. It speaks directly to the direction our country must take as we reposition infrastructure at the center of economic transformation, while safeguarding our environment and securing a sustainable future for generations to come. It reminds us that infrastructure development must evolve, moving beyond responding to immediate needs, towards anticipating the demands of a rapidly changing world shaped by climate change, urbanization, and technological advancement. Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, under the leadership of Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, our own Republican president, government has remained resolute in placing infrastructure at the center of economic transformation, because infrastructure is not merely about physical assets, it's about unlocking economic potential, creating jobs, enhancing productivity, and improving the quality of life of our people. As a result of this, Mr. President, your government remains firmly committed to improving the quality, resilience, and sustainability of our infrastructure. Allow me to underscore, Mr. President, a principle that you have consistently emphasized, that all public projects and indeed all government business, especially procurement, must conform to the three parameters. And the president of EIZ, you got it, the first one wrong. It is not conforming to budget. That is absolutely important. It is the right cost. You can put something in a budget which is the wrong cost. The president emphasizes the right cost for everything. Not the cheapest, but the right cost. And of course, quality. And the quality, Zambia is within the International Brotherhood of Nations. So we're looking now for international standards. And of course, timely delivery. These are not mere aspirations, they are non-negotiable guiding principles. As we accelerate infrastructure development across our country, we must guard against the inflated project costs, which in the past we have had, compromised standards, and unnecessary delays. Every road, every bridge, every drainage system, and every infrastructure project must reflect value for money, meet the highest engineering specifications, and be delivered within agreed time frame. This is the discipline that will restore public confidence and ensure that infrastructure outlives its design life and it truly serves its intended purpose. At the same time, we must recognize that rapid urbanization has brought new challenges, particularly in the area of drainage infrastructure. Urban flooding continues to affect many of our towns and cities, threatening infrastructure, disrupting livelihood, and posing risks to public health. Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, the successful delivery of this infrastructure agenda cannot be achieved by government alone. It requires strong partnerships, particularly with professional bodies such as the Engineering Institution of Zambia. Fellow professionals, this presidency values the contribution, the knowledge, the expertise that you as engineering professionals bring to the table in terms of developing our nation. The very fact that out of a very small cabinet, let me make the point clear, we have had cabinets of 70 members. This one is 25. He can appoint so many engineering professionals. I think it's testimony to that appreciation of that which you do. Let me also say, ladies and gentlemen, that we appreciate comments from you, especially the Apex organization, which is the engineering institution of Zambia. But we must insist that the public discourse on matters of public interest must be at professional level. In any nation, there is always noise. Some of you here who are engineers, we know about noise, harmonics, when we design systems. So in matters of public discourse, especially in political years like now, there is always noise going around. We want the engineering institution to rise above these noises and be focused, be professional in the way they comment on matters of public discourse. That way, we shall get the respect of our citizens. And when we have engineering issues, people will look forward to the comments of the EIZ because they know that is a way that is also relevant. So in this regard, whether it is Kakoso stream, whether it is Sakanya stream, the ministry remains open. We are not afraid of fellow engineers. That is why the president put a senior fellow in charge of the ministry. He put an architect, a professor in architecture, as permanent secretary. The board chairs, this government, for the first time, the board chairs of RDA, we had to make sure that they were professional engineers, fellows of this institution. The first one we had, Muchad Kuntawala, is a member of this institution. The current one, Engineer Eugene Hazel, is a fellow of this institution. The point I'm making, Mr. President, is that these people are senior members of this institution. Virtually the top management of RDA are members of this institution. The engineers who carry out work, whether it is government projects, whether it is contractors from outside, whether it is PPPs, those engineers are members of this institution. So if things go wrong, don't stand outside and say them. These are your members. Because as minister, I will then ask EIZ, what action have you taken on all those engineers who are involved in Kakoso, who are involved with Sakanya? What action have you taken? The point I'm making is, if you investigate, if you look at matters critically, you find that some of the things said are part of the noise that is going on. As your minister, I really ask you to rise above that. Because sometimes when people fail to articulate the vision they have for the country, where they want to offer the country, they run to other institutions so that they can fight their battles. It may be churches, it may be traditional leaders, it may be professional institutions. So guard against that so that we remain relevant in our country. Because we know that the EIZ has a critical mandate to uphold engineering standards and enforce professional ethics. But, Mr. President, allow me this time to speak very candidly. It is time for Engineering Institution of Zambia to indeed all Zambian engineers to organize themselves strategically and take full advantage of the vast advantages available in infrastructure development. These opportunities are not in the future, they are here now. Every time I've addressed this body, Mr. President, I've called upon these professionals. There is nobody in engineering terms more qualified, more experienced than these people you see before you. I have said, come together, form private entities that will carry out infrastructure development in this country. There is no president in this country, either in the past or in the foreseeable future, who will be more supportive of private enterprise more than this president you see here. To be a PPP that does Ndola Lusaka, you do not need to come from China, from anywhere with a suitcase of money. That's not how things are done. We leverage your brains, where you come up with bankable documents. When you do that, capital is available throughout the world. But what we lack is the ability to come together as Musonda, Muvita, and other people like that. We still fall back on Milupi and the Sons. 100% of nothing is nothing. 2% of a billion is a lot of money. So again, in front of our president, I implore you, the opportunities are there, not only in road infrastructure. Yes, roads are still there. Pika Kasama, come up with a program and say, we want to do this under PPP. Look at student accommodation. Student accommodation. You have a captive market. Go to Unza, 10,000 bed units. The market is there. Water treatment. All our cities, all our towns require improved water treatment. Garbage management, waste management. We go into Japan, we see how they do things. I implore these professionals that let us look beyond being workers or consultants just close up in our little room. Let us think big. That way you create opportunities. This president and the government he leads in the last 4.5 years, under very difficult circumstances, platform, an opportunity for this country now to take off on a very, very severe growth trajectory. When he came into office, we had the issues of COVID. We had the issues of very heavy debt that he had to deal with. We had a drought. We had a cholera at some stage. But those things, through his diligent work, are now behind. The economy has grown from $18.5 billion, which we found is now $32 billion. Let us take advantage whilst this money is still there so that we grow the economy further. He has plans to grow it even much bigger. Even when we say 32, we ought to be ashamed of ourselves as a nation when you look at the resources that we gave into this country. But we call upon you to rise beyond these petty things so that we can grow this economy. So the increasing use of public-private partnerships as a financing and delivery model for public infrastructure, there is significant space for local engineers to participate meaningfully, not only as consultants or workers, but also as project developers, contractors, and investors. So therefore, the Engineering Institution of Zambia should take a proactive role in mobilizing members, building capacity in private partnership frameworks, and positioning Zambian engineers to participate. Let the opposition to PPP not come from this room. It's a vehicle that you can use to grow up your own portfolios, private portfolios. But because it's a good thing, other people always oppose it. There's nothing good that this government has done that has not been opposed. Even straightforward things like free education, people have opposed it. Yeah? Feeding programs to feed children. Oh no, it's beings are eating. So we are used to that kind of opposition, but let it come from those who are making noises, not from professionals. Furthermore, the EIZ must assert itself more strongly on matters of quality, of course, in infrastructure development. And as government accelerates infrastructure delivery, quality assurance must never be compromised. The officials I was talking to last evening as I came, when they raised some of these matters, I gave them examples of Nakonde Mbala. Within 4 years, the road that was undertaken at more than $1,200,000 per kilometer had failed. Isoka Muyombe, again similar cost per kilometer. You go there now with your foot, just grab your foot on the tar road, everything will come, you expose gravel and so on. If adherence to quality, and what I've heard from the AIZ president today, was pertaining those days, I think maybe those things would not have happened, would have gotten greater value out of that investment. So the theme of this symposium challenges us to rethink how infrastructure supports transition towards a circular economy, one that promotes sustainability, resource efficiency, and innovation. Engineers are at the heart of this transition. You are the designers, builders, and the custodians of the systems that will define Zambia's future. It is my sincere expectation that your deliberations during this symposium will generate practical, forward-looking solutions that will not only advance the engineering profession, but also contribute meaningfully to the Zambian's development agenda. Mr. President, fellow professionals, I apologize for taking too long, but some points had to be made. With this, Mr. President, I invite you to address the gathering.
You may take your seats, please. Thank you very much. Thank you. May I acknowledge the Royal Highnesses that are here. Whoops, echo here. Engineers. Sound engineers. There's some echo here. So let me recognize the Royal Highnesses that are here. Host Chief, of course, leading them. Chief Mukuni, Minister Infrastructure, who has just spoken, cabinet colleagues that are here, Provincial Minister. And indeed, let me also acknowledge the Mayor of the City of Livingstone and your colleagues that may be here with you, the President of the Engineering Association of Zambia, Mr. Kaluba, your management team, of course, other leadership members that you work with. May I also acknowledge our service chiefs that are here, and of course, one of them being your member, General Solochi. May I acknowledge the registrar of the institution, it's the management anyway, Mr. Kamungu, and your staff. There are many other people that could be here, but I think it's important to acknowledge the sponsors, Zambezi River Authority, our colleague who has spoken, and other sponsors. Sponsors are important. Very, very important. Very, very important. Yeah? Yeah. They just don't put resources for facilitation. They also demonstrate commitment to the agenda, the theme that you have around here. Very important thing. So, particularly that they run businesses. As you know, I'm a fan of business myself, because without business, you may have good ideas, but you have a tough life, eh? You have a tough life. So, thank you very much. So may I say the community of Livingstone and the wider community that may be here, other professionals that are here to support the Engineering Institution of Zambia and what you're doing here today, the press, ladies and gentlemen, a lot has been said, but let me put a bit of context to what I feel needs to be emphasized to add on to that which has been said already. But before I do that, may I express my gratitude, Mr. President and Registrar, for your invitation to this platform. Very esteemed group of people that are here. I'm grateful that you invited me. I'm also humbled to learn, maybe I must represent the presidents before me, that finally the head of state is amongst you. So since I'm here, I want to exonerate the six before me so that I represent them. May their souls rest in peace on a more serious note. So thank you for this invitation once more. And I'm very happy that we found space, we found time to be here, to be amongst yourselves. And I think that should raise a suspicion that maybe leaders were not interested in the engineering profession. We are interested in it. Every single night we knock off, we go home. We sleep on a bed in a house that was designed by some engineer and built by another engineer. Literally. We eat the food that is grown by technology equipment designed by some engineer, isn't it? So sometimes we forget how important these fellows are that are in this room today. Yeah. So you are an extremely important group of people. You are actually hand in glove with life. I'm not sure how they've made it from the village yesterday. I left about 17 hours, 17:30, and this morning I'm here. I was here. It can only be through engineering, excellence, isn't it? Yeah. So may we clap for the engineers. That corner you're not clapping. May we clap for the engineers. And that corner there. And the mid-row here. Thank you for all that you do for us, which we take for granted many a time. Just take things for granted. I mean, these days I work, President, almost every minute as I wish. Hakuna kulala. The country is awake. We are talking about 24-hour economy, isn't it? It means the country is awake 24/7. And as I was coming here, I was clearing some work on the WhatsApp. And I'm just imagining, how were the guys before us working without WhatsApp? Right? I'm not joking. So we're moving offices now. And I sign less memos myself. My colleagues know that. And I give my directives, my instructions on WhatsApp, almost real time. And I can imagine before you have to sit, draft an instruction, get it to the typing room, get it reviewed, and then sign it, then a messenger takes it. Isn't it? And the technology designed by one of you somewhere around the world, isn't it? You watched the mission to the moon, eh? I mean, incredible. That thing landed in the ocean just a few meters off the prescribed distance when it returned from the moon. And I'm a fan of these things myself. I was watching. I said, really, humanity has advanced. And it's the engineers leading the way across the world. And today I have a message for you. We want you to lead the development of this economy here, you the engineers, right? We send, a country like America goes around the world scanning and poaches skill sets from across the world. I'm sure you know. Maybe poaching is the wrong way. They actually give citizenship, right, to bright kids across the world. They do it quietly. Even when there are issues of immigration in that area, they do not make limitations. I know one of graduates from UNZA, two of the guys were twins. Eh? Some of you may remember by me describing them. One remained as a lecturer at the School of Engineering. Yeah, he lectured you. Another one, he was taken by the Americans. And he works in the engineering field, the finest art of engineering in the States. I'm happy he came back home to find a wife. He's there. I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. Don't mention his name. They were twins. And they went to Canisius there. You know, through their school there, they would get almost exact grades in their courses. Then one remained here, another one was taken. So now, we want to do the reverse. We want, and I'll talk about it just now, we want the best brains in the engineering field across the world to work with us in the development of this economy here. Huh? And today's world, we don't have to dislocate them from where they are, but we can engage them to work with us in projects in the country, isn't it? Because of technology, virtual meetings. Just telling you about what's up. So let's think differently, engineers. Let's get the best skill sets from wherever it is to help accelerate the economic development agenda of this government. So I must really be saying your theme is befitting, but quickly I must move on to say we must raise the bar in this field, Mr. President. We must raise the bar. We must not settle for second fiddle. We must raise the bar for the best. Raise the standards of whatever we do, quality of whatever we do. And I mentioned this just now. Innovation is critical. In your field, innovation gives you the edge. If you want to be above average, above the ordinary engineer, innovation must come into the fray here. And I hope as you go through your AGM, you will be discussing these issues. How do you get to the cutting edge of society, of our economy, in all spheres of our economy? And it is important, yes, to regulate yourselves. It's important to certify yourselves. That's one side of the coin. But it's also important that you should be firm. When members are crossing the path, they must be brought to book. Because it's that approach that will actually bring improvements. That's how things work in every profession. In every profession, when some transgress, and there are some who transgress intentionally, I think this legal entity, because you're a creation of an act of parliament. Am I right? You're a legal entity. You must use both sides of the coin. praise, support, really, but also bring colleagues to book. This is one of the most difficult things. I'm watching professions in this country. I'm watching them. There are professions that cover each other. And you can suspect one of them, right? They cover each other so much. Even when there's criminality inside the profession covers others. It is behaving like an ostrich, right? You dig your head in the sand, the larger part of the body is outside. You'll be exposed sooner or later, isn't it? I am praising here, but I'm also saying, let's be fair, colleagues, because your work can lead to loss of lives, isn't it? We're talking about bridges here, isn't it? Just one design aspect that's not done properly for the weight to be balanced. I'm talking from the commercial angle. The bridge can go down. This year we've had a lot of rain. Imagine the bridge goes down when the waters are high. What would happen? We just, I think RDA just sent me some of the bridges we need to repair in the Luangwa Valley somewhere because of the heavy rains. I don't have to be an engineer to see that. I don't think this bridge, the pillars were sunk deep enough because they cannot be exposed with minimum erosion as a result of the water. So, colleagues, yours is a delicate profession, and we must make sure that we carry both sides of the coin. The three rules have already been talked about. I was going to emphasize these three rules. The cost of doing the project. I'm happy, Minister, you've raised the differential between, if you like, the budget and the cost. I'll tell you one example here. Not engineering example, but some procurement when we took public office. We were working to reduce the cost of fertilizer, right? And one public sector worker was insisting that we must give contracts to bidders who were charging $1,200 per ton, metric ton of fertilizer. Senior public officer appointed by this president, right? Eventually I said, come to State House, let's have a meeting, call a meeting of stakeholders to State House. Because if we increase the cost of inputs, we increase the cost of the product, isn't it? And the cost of doing business, and then the cost of food, and then the inflation for us in our profession. Inflation is very important. That animal called inflation must be put under control. If it's out of control, it increases the general cost of doing business, and therefore the cost of living in the country. Are we together? So, food component in the inflation basket is high. This is an engineering platform. I will not take you far in that area. So, I call a meeting at State House, and I'm relatively new. I'm new. I think they say, oh, this guy never worked for government. He doesn't understand government processes. I say, okay, all right. So, conversation goes on. He says, no, Mr. President, we have to give the contract to this bidder. I said, really? Have you looked at the price, cost? Have you looked at the quality? Say, let's tick the issues. Quality, tick. Right? Weight, tick. I must tell you, in this country, fertilizer was sold as a 50 kg bag when it was only 40 or 45 kgs for many years. But it was sold as a 50 kg bag. And then you are wondering why agricultural yields were lower. That's one of the reasons. Because you are applying fertilizer on the basis that it's a 50 kg. It's actually a 40 or 45 kg. It's been repacked. They've taken bits and pieces to create another bag, and they've sold at the same price. How would you know? White collar crime. You don't know unless you are attentive. Anyway, tick the boxes on other things. So then this fellow, PS actually, I said, no, we want to procure fertilizer at a lesser price. He says, no, we have to, because the price is already in the yellow book. Mr. President, we budgeted for this price. It's in the yellow book. I hope you all know what the yellow book is. That's a budget, isn't it? A budget is a projection, isn't it? It's an estimate. So now I figure out, I said, oh, so who provided the budget for agriculture and fertilizer? This is the same PS. You are catching the point, eh? So I said, no, my friend. He says, no, we can't do that because already Anti-Corruption Commission has written a note that you have to give the tender to this bidder, who is $1,200 per ton. As I called Chris Mundi, I said, Chris, take your phone, go and call ACC in this meeting. So I called ACC, I called DPP, I called DEC, I called everybody. I said, sit here. Why should I pay $1,200 per ton of people's money, taxpayers' money, just because somebody provided that price in the budget in the yellow book? That's the difference between the cost, true cost, and the budget. Because one can exaggerate the budget and they know who to give the contract when that time comes. Isn't it? Are you surprised that this country was doing things at a high cost all the time? These are some of the reasons. So in the end, I said, we will procure fertilizer at a lower price. Today, we are procuring fertilizer around $800 per ton as opposed to $1,200. So what is the saving per ton? 400. Multiply just a minimum that by 500,000 metric tons. How much money have we saved? Are you surprised we are funding free education? Are you surprised we are funding CDF? I'm talking to engineers who are reviewing projects, who are approving projects, isn't it? Let us respect these rules of the right cost. And because money is never enough, resources are always scarce. So we must protect and be prudent resources. Not just public resources, your own resources. If you were the owner of a country called Zambia, you alone, would you choose to pay $400 more per ton when you actually have other things being equal? You pay a lesser price, lesser cost. I am sending a message to engineers. When you are costing projects, be prudent. The engineers costed the Lusaka Ndola dual carriage 327 kilometers. Before we took office, they costed and approved a contractor to do it at $1.3 billion. 327 kilometers at $1.3 billion. Borrowed money in our profession carries what we call an interest. Plus interest, the cost of that 327 kilometer road was coming to $1.8 billion. When we came in, we canceled that contract. And there was a lot of noise. The minister was talking about noise. A lot of noise. Now, we are doing that road, Minister, at $649.50. Call it $650 million. Same distance, better quality, and it will be finished ahead of time. Why are you clapping softly? The people who spec'd that project on $1.3 billion were engineers. The people this president said, I'm not going to do this road at this cost, and we are now doing at 649, are engineers in the same room here. The difference is the approach to doing things. Hence, the three rules are important, President Kaluga. That way, when you design projects properly, with prudence, this government will be your best friend. and this government will give your members more business and more contracts. Let us have an alignment in our vision. Please understand the vision of the government, your government. We're not a pariah government. We're not from somewhere. You voted for us. And you voted for us, I believe, on the basis of our vision. And that's how we are delivering the vision. So just look at the differential. 1.8 billion minus 650 million. Look at the difference. How much money is that? So it means we can do other things with that 7. And that money was to be borrowed. Are you surprised that we were in a debt crisis? You shouldn't. That was the nature of it. So I'm looking, President, to engineers here to share in the vision of this president, this government, for the good of us all. For the good of engineers, the good of the country, and our economic growth and more growth agenda. And when we grow our economy, I know Minister mentioned 18 and 32 billion. We're sitting on 34 already. We're just 2 billion short of doubling already the economy. And our agenda is to take it to 70 billion, 80 billion and more. And Mr. President Kaluva, we need the engineers here to be part of this journey. We need these engineers to be part of this vision. Let's change the paradigm from, I know we've approved your charge out rates, and our profession is no different from yours. Charge out rates, similar. Actually, we're no different, right? We're no different. But let's shift from working on huge margins to working on fair margins but bigger volumes. Then actually, ultimately, you'll make more money. And consistently so. You will have lesser non-productive time, which is a lot in the profession. Watch out for non-productive time. Charge out rate may be higher, but don't lose on utilization. Very important. So let us bring the two together. In fact, and other factors. So I've only given you 2 examples of how your government is able to save money. 2 projects only. Only 2 projects. Now think where you are seated. How many other projects were being done in that manner in this country? Are you surprised that then the government then went and borrowed so much money? In our area, a loan is a liability. We have what we call a balancing act all the time. The liability must square up with the asset. But in our country, we found a huge liability, but there's no asset. It is things like this. And engineers, you are the first line of call as you are involved in design and in building, isn't it? In fact, if I wanted, I could sit down. I've already made my point. Yeah? Well, so I was only talking of the 3 rules. The cost is very important. The operational definition of cost, different from budget or anything else, but prudence embedded in there. So we're looking for engineers to pull your weight, Mr. President, Registrar, on this side. Pull your weight. Then, quality is important. It's very important. I don't have to overemphasize it. The quality is important. Value for money is not just the cost, it's also the product that you've built out of the money that you spend. And nobody's saying that by putting the right cost, you must compromise on the quality. No. The 2 are not synonymous. They're not one and the same. They are different. So, then the 3rd rule is that deliver on time. We're seeing too many extensions to projects. So let's spend time. Mwebantu, barongova, vana vahesu. Let's spend more time in doing the right work, the calculations, looking at assumptions correctly. I can talk this way because I'm a project person myself. I'm a transactions person myself. Let's inject the right assumptions so that when we cost properly and then implement and deliver on time, it will increase on our reputation and the issue of being consulted, as the minister said, and relied upon when you are needed. Because you are now gravitating to writing a storybook that when people read it, they'll believe it. We don't want a situation where a quantification is done, bill of quantity is done, only to use it to enter the contract. Only. That's the only reason. That's the motivation. Once you are in the contract, it's an extension. Variations. He's using the right term. How Mugambire president? Thank you very much. Thank you. But variations have their place, isn't it? There are times that variations are necessary, isn't it? We agreed on that. No contestation on that. And let's do it properly. So I will not spend more time on this, and I've already given an idea of two critical examples. Earlier I was mentioning to you about firmness, about exercising, both sides of the coin correctly. That PS who did that is gone. He had to go. Right? Then you say, no, HH is harsh. No. If we didn't do what is correct, we wouldn't have a local manufacture of fertilizer. Imagine what would have meant this year with a war in the Middle East, with the Strait of Hormuz. It's not just the fuel, 20 to 25% of the global consumption of fuel. It is also fertilizer. It's also petrochemicals. You're engineers. It's also petrochemicals. If we did not push towards local production, we would be exposed not only to the pump price of fuel going high, but also the price of fertilizer going extremely high. That's the vision of this government. And I'll say to you just about now, the opportunities that exist for engineers in this economy. As the minister said, now, not tomorrow, now. We want you to come on board, now. So anyway, I've made a point there. So let me encourage you as engineers that the country is ready for you. It has been ready for you, right? But we need your continued innovation. Climate change has already been touched on. It's an exogenous variable. It's outside our control, to some extent. Yes, we can plant more trees, we can reduce the hectareage we cut, we can stop charcoal burning, but remember, who damaged the environment? Was it us or the richer nations? It's the richer nations, isn't it? So they brought us this damage to the environment. So we now need more innovation from yourselves to devise solutions that take account of those problems. Let me talk as a farmer. Genetic engineering is engineering, isn't it? But let's not talk of the negative side of genetic engineering. Let's talk of the positive side of engineering varieties. Let me use the varieties. It's engineers, isn't it? Seed technology. It's engineers. Yeah. So we're looking for engineers to work with agricultural scientists on devising high-yielding varieties, early maturing varieties, disease-resistant varieties, drought-resistant varieties. I'm throwing a challenge. So let's not leave it to agricultural scientists. There is engineering inside there, isn't it? Engineers don't have a limit just to work in isolation. Working with agricultural scientists, work with medicine. There is engineering in there. Irrigation. We want to see the engineers work not much as many of us professionals like to profess. Self-assurance. Let's see the value of engineering in drought-resistant stuff, mitigation, floods. I talked about bridges. Let's see the value of us here in this room and those who are not here in the quality of roads, the design and quality of roads. Let the results speak for us. Roads, bridges that can withstand storms. Culverts that are not, I talked to this minister, we talked. Culverts that are not below the surface level. Because they'll be clogged, isn't it? Let's see the work of us, excellent engineers. One of the things we do well in this country is that we get good grades at UNZA and other universities. And then we pack them, we think that we've worked. No, that's just the key into the room. Our certificates are only keys to allow us to enter the room where work takes place. When we're inside there, let us work. Let our skills show in the water harvest that the government now is pushing. Weirs, dams for water harvest. Are we together? We want to see more of your works there, together with other professionals. I said already, precision irrigation. See what, I think the Israelis designed the drip irrigation, isn't it? We want to see how you can work, President, to lower the cost of drip irrigation. Alternatives. Just some basic designs. So that even the small-scale farmers can afford drip irrigation. You can do it. I know you can do it. And then we want to see your value there so that we farmers can now utilize your innovations. We want to see that in the buildings. We had this scare there at Society House. We had a serious scare there. I think you had to go there. It's you who went there. I saw you on television. It's him, eh? To assure people around that that building was not collapsing. Was it you or your predecessor? I can't remember that. You know, there was a scare that we had even to remove the tenants in there. It's you, the minister. Yes. So we want to see that buildings can be put up, designed by ourselves, yourselves. Because you are part of us. You are our family members, isn't it? We're one and the same. We don't separate ourselves from you. That can stand 200, 300, 400 years. You go to old societies like, so it's said, we're also an old society, right? But let's say the UK. You see how children and great-grandchildren inherit property. One flat would have been owned by the great-great-grandfathers. One flat, eh? And all they do is rehabilitation inside, eh? But the core structure is the same. It's standing for 400, 500 years. And they change the carpets, they change sometimes windows from steel windows to aluminum windows, so that assets can stand for generations and children and great-grandchildren don't have to build a home when great-grandfathers built a home. You just inherit it. We want to see that. That's what the world wants to see. Am I asking for too much? No. It's basic stuff. We want to see more from you. So we demand more from you. We, as society, your own family members, demand more from you. Let me indicate something here. I already touched on it. Let us, as professionals, focus I repeat, not on self-assurance, but focus on outcomes, on deliverables. All professions now, not just engineers. All professions in this country, I'm watching, I'm observing. Whether we're lawyers, we're engineers, we're economists, we're accountants, we're architects, we are doctors. Let's not focus on self-assurance. Let's focus on outcomes and how they benefit society. We'll be stronger professionals and more respected. I say to my colleagues all the time, process is important, but the outcome is more important than the process. Yes, it said the process protects content. People play with words, but we must worship the outcomes more than the processes. So if the processes don't give us the outcomes we want, we must change them. We must alter them. Yeah? So that delivery is our mantra and not anything else. We want this economy to move and move fast. I'm embarrassed I stand here as your servant, that with all the resource endowments we have in this country, even the size. Yesterday I told my son, because I was coming here, so I told my son, check for me after the funeral when I arrived home, check the size of Germany. Everything was based on Zambia. Land size, just land size. Right, Germany. France, which we thought was big, is the biggest country in Europe. It's only 500,000 square kilometers something. France, Germany, smaller. Portugal, Czech, Italy. Most of the Western European countries are smaller than Zambia in landmass. We are 752,000 square kilometers. France is only 500,000, something like if your phone here, go to Google and you check. And these are huge economies, trillions. But many of them don't have copper. They don't have cobalt. They don't have manganese. They don't have nickel. They don't have emeralds. They don't have the fresh water we have. They have to desalinate the water, engineering again. They have to desalinate the water. But look at the fresh water we have. What are we doing with it? Kariba Zambezi River Authority. The Zambezi River Basin is not pushing more water into our biggest battery, Kariba Dam, to generate electricity. Engineering again. We love you, engineers. Can you clap for engineers again? But we have Kafue River, which is largely a Zambian river, isn't it? Kafue River Basin. How many power stations are on the Kafue River Basin? 3. Iteshteji, you're engineers, right? You built these power stations. Yeah, but there are 3 power stations. Iteshteji, 120 or so megawatts, right? Then Kafue Gorge Upper, first upper. Yes, Kafue Gorge Upper, almost 900 megawatts, right? Then Kafue Gorge Lower, right? 700, if you add the bottom valve there, we've been talking about this issue. So on this Kafue River Basin, if they're all in full production, 900 plus 750 plus 120, how many megawatts is that? I'm asking somebody to calculate. 900 plus 750 plus 120. 1,900. Is somebody who is adding? One person. 900 plus 750 plus 120. Sorry? 197. Almost 2,000 megawatts. Almost. But the generating capacity is never fully utilized. So maybe we're only utilizing 50%. Why? Because we don't have enough water. But Kafue River around Copperbelt, Kitwe, Chingola, the Chirilabombwe there, isn't it? And then we have the Luapula River Basin, where we have water like hell, Kapala, right? And for 60 years plus, we cannot join the two river systems. Because the one that we get from Luapula there, which is passing through the Pedigo there, if you join it from the Copperbelt, but if you join it from Serenge, you do it from Zambia. You avoid Congo. Hear my story. Hear my story, engineers. Right? And that water is our water coming from Chambesh River in northern province. And many other rivers there. Then it comes through into Bangweolo, isn't it? 69th Luapula River goes into Mweru. From there, Lualaba River, Congo River, Atlantic Ocean. Gone. I am challenging the engineers, sir. To design and connect the two river systems so that without over-extracting water from the Luapula River system, going into Lualaba and Congo River, the Congolese are planning Inga, isn't it? On our water. Part of it is our water. But we are allowing that water to go. We can channel some of that water only a bit. Again, engineering comes in to come into the Kafue River system, drop it around Chirabombwe Kitwe, shorter distance, 100 kilometers or so, and we'll be able to utilize the installed capacity of the three power stations to maybe 75, 80%. And it will be cheaper than building a new power station. How about that? At the moment, we get nobody. It doesn't stop us doing another power station on the Luapula River because we have excess water, too much water there. I'm provoking you, isn't it? Yeah, but now the Chinese may design it, other citizens, of the world might design. You must design that. And you can do that as a PPP. The minister was talking there. You, the engineers here. And when you do it properly, there'll be funding for it. And you become a billionaire. Yes, I'm not joking. You become a billionaire. And drought or no drought will have probably very limited load shedding even in the future. That's what engineers are able to do. Let's bring our best as we contribute more to Zambia's development. Let's extract the best out of us. And we're capable. Let's have aligned vision. Let's have aligned vision. Government is there for you. I want to confirm with you, government is ready to partner with the Engineering Institution of Zambia so more engineers here, outside this room, in the diaspora, can work together with the government through your institution, sir, to accelerate projects that would contribute, let me use that, contribute more to our growth agenda. Let us create pathways to transfer skills, even to the local people in the villages, so that they can fix pipes when they are doing irrigation. I'm happy that you are 100,000 strong, and inside that you have also technical people, isn't it? Now, under CDF, we have a skills training program. We would like the Engineering Institution of Zambia to help us supervise that training. And we are happy to enter into a strategic alliance with the institution, Engineering Institution of Zambia, and the CDF program as we train, artisanal schools. So that you don't have to travel from here to Katapazi to go and fix an irrigation system. The guys we're training under CDF will fix the irrigation system, but under your supervision, under your control. I'm generating business for you. I think I've said enough. Now, colleagues, there are too many opportunities that this government has provided. Some I can see, you don't see them. I can see that. I would like us to have a bit of a paradigm shift. Engineers, don't focus when you're training to be an employee. Always being an employee. Employment must be transitory, isn't it? Leading us to you being investors. My favorite subject. The minister touched on it. You are skilled enough to work for yourself. Why do you always want to be on the payroll? I'm not joking. Me here, president of the association, I stopped being on the payroll at 27 years old. Many Zambians are not aware. I have no idea what the payroll looks like from the time I was 27. Because once I became a partner in the firm, and he talked about it, issue of partnership. You guys like working alone. At the height of our firm, there were 18 of us partners. Sharing common interests in the business, bringing different skills, not saying HH and Sons as Milupe and Sons. Zambians like saying, I own this business 100%. When you open, there's no value inside there. Change the mindset to say, yes, some will work, but some of you here must train yourselves to work for yourselves. If I had to start all over, and I'm telling my children, 3 of them, that they don't need to work. They don't need to look forward to a salary. They must look forward to struggling, earning their own money and pay themselves a stipend, but have more interest on the dividend than the salary. If I was to start all over, I would start early, earlier than 27. So I'm appealing and asking these engineers here and those that are still in colleges to start having a paradigm shift the way you see the training and the skills that you acquire. Yes, to work, but also to work for yourselves. You should be running institutions training our CDF skills young people. It should be run by some of the engineers. Amongst yourselves here. You should seek to partner with other people. Seek partnerships. Working alone has its own risks. What if you fall ill? Think of it, Me, when I went into politics, our businesses were attacked. But some of the businesses, our partners were too big to attack them. Right? Yeah. Because our partners came from different countries in here. So you attack that business, you're attacking a sovereign nation. So, but what have we done? That one is gone into politics, but this business is employing people. Why do you want to kill it? Partnership is important. Joint ventures are important, engineers. I know you love your freedom, Kapala and Associates, but it's only Kapala. Yeah, hoodwinking that he has a true partner. When you go working there, it is his child, it is his niece, but he says Kapala and Associates. Go into true partnerships, joint ventures, local amongst yourselves, as ministers say, but also amongst people in the neighbor. Chief Executive of Zambia's River Authority, where is it? I am looking for Zimbabweans and Zambians opening joint venture businesses with private sector people, and with Swanas, and with South Africans in the region, and with other Africans. Then you can be stronger as you ask Europeans to come on your
on your investment portfolio. You're too weak alone. Because I went into a partnership, I am biased. I respect working with other people. Because the day you are not able physically to be in the business, lawyers are the same. Mushipe and associates. It's only her. She's lying, that is it. There's only her there. When she has a flu, the office is closed. And the clients are knocking there. Eventually they take the business to someone else, isn't it? Mushipe and associates. Who they are. Goes away. It's because we want control. We need to break off this issue of control. Engineers, I said today, I'll say things. I told the minister, I promised that, and this president, in a small room, I said today I'll say things in there. I would like the Engineering Association to help facilitate the creation of joint ventures amongst yourselves, amongst other professionals within the country. Work with economists, work with guys with MBAs, work with accountants in a joint business. I'm saying cross the boundaries even of engineering on it, because those will bring different value. And you can expand businesses to a level that we as a government, you as a government, because we are one, can have confidence that this contract, which is $1 billion, will give it to this firm and they will deliver. Isn't it?
I think I've said my point. So
free yourselves from a payroll mentality. Always looking for salary increment. Let me tell you a story. When I came into government, I was told it is a government obligation, requirement that I need to be paid a salary. I said, no, I don't want to be paid a salary, right? At the time, I'll tell you, the president's salary was 53,000 kwacha. I said, Ndimogando won't say 53,000 kwacha. I'm not speaking French, it's a Zambian language. I said, I don't know what a payslip looks like. So, and I must get a pay. Have you seen the mentality now? If I sell one bull, I pay myself. Just one bull, I pay myself. Only I need is 12 bulls. So why should I be checking whether my salary has increased or not? Different mindset. Completely different mindset. Madam, I was very impressed. I came across her after you put me in office. We had a workshop or a seminar together, in Mulongosho. Yourself, she's looking at somebody. Yes, you may stand up. You run your own business, isn't it? You run your own business. Are you not satisfied? Are you not happy? Can we clap for her? The point is well made. Honestly speaking, it's a mindset, it's a frame of mind that I want a big salary. When you are used to working for yourself, you're not interested in the salary. Yes, you need a drawing, a stipend to buy, sugar for your kids to do certain things, but your interest is the bottom line. Where is the real money is? It's in the dividends. It's in the shareholders' drawing. That's where the real money is. And the engineers, you're capable. Look at Mark Zuckerberg. He walked out of Harvard, and see where he is. He's a young man, right? Now people ridicule. You know me, when I was singing the praises, I'm sorry for using, I apologize. I apologize. Again and again, right? So it's basically saying a farmer cannot run a country. That's what these guys are talking about. Really? You can ridicule self-employment? A rancher, you can say, Teta take it because he follows cattle by... Mr. President, the President wants me to accommodate him in status. I've already said yes. I said yes there, isn't it? Come, we talk possibilities. Not for you only, but for these engineers. I don't think you have opened your eyes to see the opportunities that this government is providing. I don't think you have opened your eyes. Remember, in electricity, there was only one monopoly. There is Justin there. Longo. He was a monopoly. When we came in, we brought in reforms to end the ZESCO monopoly in electricity. Now we have independent power producers, opportunity. We have independent power traders, opportunity, right? We have open access, net metering, tariff blending, a lot of business opportunity. You have not looked inside what this government is doing to create opportunity for engineers. We have now removed the burden of regulation, up to 5 megawatts power. You don't have to follow through heavy environmental assessment, ZEMA, all of that. We've taken it out so that if you want to invest in a 5 megawatts of power, you and your family, since you love X and sons, right? But you can also find 2, 3, 4 engineers. You do a 5 megawatt project, it will earn you enough money, more than scribbling through a payslip to check if there's a salary increment. I'm not joking. This is not a joke. I know you think I'm joking. It's not a joke, right? These are opportunities that were not there 4.5 years ago, because only ZESCO was allowed to transmit power in this country. But now ZESCO are forced to carry your power. If you are generating power anywhere and you connect to the grid, all ZESCO will do is charge you a wheeling charge. But before, ZESCO will not carry your power. Now you can actually have a client, a mine as your client, if you want, and you generate in another place, and ZESCO will be obliged to wheel your power through the open access, and then you manage your client. ZESCO gets a fee because they invested in the transmission lines. We now have interconnectors. We're looking for private sector. Where we are here, Zimbabwe, additional interconnector we needed from, I think, the Zimbabwe side here, Big Force, somewhere there, into Livingstone here, to enhance the interconnection. Justin knows what I'm talking about. We need the Zambia-Malawi interconnector, Zambia-Tanzania interconnector, Zambia-Mozambique interconnector, Zambia-Botswana interconnector, Zambia-Namibia interconnector. Private sector, come forward. You as an engineer, you are sponsoring unions to ask for salary increments. Unions. These Zambians are. Chapesha mano. I'll teach you a slogan. It's not political. When I say one Zambia, answer one nation. One nation, one people. I'm not saying you're campaigning for anyone. I want you to understand the importance of you being citizens and cherish it, value it, and that we're one people. One of the reasons you don't do business with each other, because you like to do business with only your friends and relatives and ethnic group members. In our partnership of 18, we had Bembas, we had Tongas, we had Lozis, we had British, we had Indians. Beautiful partnership. Common interest, partnership, common business. It's got nothing to do with the language you speak. But you get bogged down to small things, peripheral things. The minister was hammering, but he decided to slow down. So I'm completing what he didn't complete. One Zambia, one nation, one people. Lovely people of Zambia. You must be proud to be Zambia. So we can work with the Zimbabweans easily. We call each other, Zimbabwe and Zambia, Zimzam. We don't have to fight with Zimbabwe. These are our family members. This border was drawn for us without us. Yeah? You should be talking to him about the Batoka Gorge. In this session, you should be talking about the opportunities that are coming through the Batoka Gorge power station. How many megawatts? 2,400. Look at the supply opportunities, the engineering work there to supply stone aggregates. Look at it that way. In this session, talk business opportunities. Don't talk unionism here. Talk business opportunities. I'm serious. If you don't talk business opportunities, the Zimbabwean business will get most of the contracts there. But since we're a joint venture, we are neighbors, talk to him about how can we now plan to be suppliers of technical work, of stone aggregates, of steel, of some designs there. That's the subject. If I was sitting in this conference, that you will see me at break, I will call him to sit with me at lunch so that we can talk opportunities. Luckily, it's our joint project, isn't it? We own it together. So this government will ensure that we give you all the support, engineers. You see things in a different way, but see them in another way. There are things that only engineers can do. You are one of the few professions that have a privilege that every project has a component that only engineers can do. You see what I mean? See through the walls. You will see better and bigger things there. And the country, the economy needs you. There you are. So let me simply say, have a mindset of being self-employed and being employers. Have a mindset of that. Work out a program, sir. In the change in education, we are changing the curricula to competence-based. So participate in the change of the curricula in the educational sector. I think State House colleagues, ministers, Minister, you're here. I want to take this to your colleague, Minister of Education and Technology, to consult, to sit with the engineers, how we can work together as we improve the curricula so that the engineers can work. That's what I'll say. And really, as I sit down, let me say, few areas I've touched on opportunity. Let me add a few. The minister touched on a few. Opportunities you must exploit and walk through them properly. Right? Local content. You are aware of local content. Take advantage of that law. We've now made it legal. It took us years negotiating with the mining companies. They were resisting. At some point, I'd even taken that to Parliament, had to withdraw it because they were making too much noise. So I brought them to State House. I said, guys, you want a mine to be viewed as a Zambian mine. There must be minimum involvement of the Zambian citizens and companies. There is Bene here. You were the president of the Chamber of Mines. They call him Bean. So the whites call him Bean. Dr. Bean. Dr. Bean. I said, Dr. Bean, you can't be running FQM without Zambian suppliers there. And I want to give him credit, him, the two Antons. Dr. Bean here, Anton Malenga, and Anton Mukutuma. Good Zambians. I said, you guys, you're Zambians. You represent these big mines. This is a noble call for local content. Bit of difficulties, luckily, because of my sins of the past, I'm a networker myself. Most of you are not aware. I'm a networker. That's why I call myself a chief marketing officer and salesman. So I called a few guys, Tristan, his boss, I called, then the Lumwana chief before he left, right? I said, guys, this is the intention. He said, your people have not explained it properly. We are happy to support this. Now we've legislated for local content. Utilize that thing. utilize this thing, talk about it, see how you position yourselves. The supply contract in the mines, as we are growing the mines, is huge. Goods, services, right? And other things is huge. I think it goes in billions now, billions of dollars. Position yourselves and your members. As the minister said, spend more time discussing such issues than unionism. Right?
I'm abusing him, but you know I don't mean ill. Eh? What else?
In the stands there, I saw somebody, minister there, who was showing us they do fabricate things there. Metrox. Is it not Metrox? It's not Metrox. It's a machining, you know. Yeah, you remember in the ZCCM days, we had parts manufacturing facility. You worked there. You ran that one. Yes. I want us to go back to local capacity where I'm happy, Dr. Avani, when we were opening S3, that milbos, some of those milbos are being made here now. Or what? Kalumbila. Kalumbila MFES. May we clap for press conference. And I said to Tristan, his father, Philip, before he died, may his soul rest in peace, I said, Philip, we need local capacity to get milbos. You need to order them from Australia. The downtime is too much. Can we make them locally? I'm happy that now they're manufacturing milbos in Kalumbila, MFES there, in Northwestern Province. Those of you who thought Northwestern Province was Cinderella Province, it's different now, right? I think it's number 4 or so in the GDP contribution to this country, taken over from Central Province. Yeah? And that's why we are talking about regional economies. Post-August this year, God's will, courtesy of you, the people of Zambia, we want to drive regional economies. Because right now, the country's GDP is driven by a few provinces only, right? Lusaka, Copperbelt, Southern, Northwestern, and Central. We now want every province to contribute to economic growth by focusing on investments in each province. Again, engineers there, sir. We need a lot of you there, right? So, there you are. That, when I was walking around there, I said, this is what we want. To create more of parts in the mining sector and elsewhere where they can be manufactured here, machined here, so we cut on downtime. The mine does not need a downtime. You know downtime, right? Something breaks down, you order it from Australia or from elsewhere to bring it in the country, production suffers. We want a 24-hour economy. To do that, we need things to be replaced quickly. Wangu wangu, wangu tacheru. Right? Bugiji bugiji.
That's what we say in Kaonde.
So, local content. PPPs, the minister has spoken about them. Let me give you an example here. Very quickly, and I'll be sitting down. I wanted to provoke your minds, Mr. President. You called me here, isn't it? Yeah. This bridge you see here, this road and rail bridge over the force here, we have taken a decision with Zimbabwe, our partners, that we don't want heavy traffic anymore here. We don't want trains. We don't want 30-tonner trucks going through this bridge. It's not a new bridge. It's over 100 years. So we want to build another road and rail bridge a few kilometers downstream here. A new road and rail bridge. And divert traffic as you enter Livingstone before, those of you who know Livingstone well, before, what do you call that? There's a toll gate somewhere there. Yeah, you tee off to the left. Then we'll go down, it's already marked. You go down, downstream, and we want a new rail and road bridge. So all the heavy traffic must be diverted from there. Then from there you tee back rightwards to Victoria Falls Town. And you join the old line, rail line and road. You join the old rail line and road this side, as we want to rehabilitate the Zambia railways. There is an opportunity for a public-private partnership. That thing is self-financing. The returns on that bridge are enough to generate a business case. I'm talking to engineers here. Let me tell you, a few friends, I'm a networker, they're saying HHS chicken feed, we'll raise the money, we'll build it ourselves. No, but I'm saying, where are the Zambians? Where are the Zambians? You make your money there, the payback is such a short period there because of the heavy traffic that will be passing through there and the tolling that will happen. And with digital technology now, all it will be digital tolling. You don't have to stop. Because if you stop, you create dead weight, isn't it? You are the engineers. I'm not. Me, I'm just an applied quack engineer. So let's look at these things, right? The minister raised this issue a lot on PPPs. We don't want, the PPPs are not designed for foreigners. Even a small bridge, you can do a PPP. You can do a PPP on bulk water. I don't know if you talked about it. Bulk water. Why are we all on boreholes and septic tanks in Lusaka? We need bulk water. We need someone, some people, to move and process bulk water. It's the good business. When somebody else does it, they say, no. I think those are HH's friends. No. I'm saying it to you now. Go and do it. But you think there's no money in water. It's a mindset, right? You think there's no money in water. No, there is. With prepayment, prepaid meters. Before it was difficult. With technology, again, thank you to engineers, prepaid meters, you make money there. And the towns in Lusaka, Copperbelt, elsewhere, it doesn't have to be government all the time. Engineers, come forward. Local content. These ministers know. We now, not local content, positive discrimination in procurement. If you produce a good here, the government and other businesses will now buy from you before we import. Positive discrimination. Such as what? Fertilizer. The local produced fertilizer, we as a big buyer government, we buy from there. United Capital Fertilizer. Now we are a net exporter of fertilizer within 4.5 years. All the FISI fertilizer now we are buying from there with e-voucher, pretty easy. If you produce something locally, we'll buy from you. Deliberately. Deliberately. Which other area now? Pharmaceuticals. We are saying we are tired of being code names over ARVs. We want to manufacture our own ARVs here. Yeah. There's a guy who works for ZAMSA here. We want Panados. We want IV fluids. We want to manufacture as many drugs here, and we will buy from them on the policy of positive discrimination in procurement. These business opportunities, they were never there 4.5 years ago. They are there now. This story, President, is too nice. We can talk about it. I choose to say I have said enough. Let us engage. Let us innovate. Let us add value. Let us work hard, Zambians. There's a perception that you can have a good life without hard work. No. No. Icona, man. Icona, man. We have to work hard. We have to work smart. You can't have a good life without working hard, without working smart. That's an inherent contradiction. I've seen many Zambians, no, I want to be like Mirupi. I want to be like... Ask him. He works hard. for many years, consistently. Right? I met this man in the private sector days, and we worked on a project. I exhausted him. And I said, one day we were doing a project in Copperbird, and I was the lead transaction person. And I said, guys, we've been working on this thing for some time. My time is up. Again, they live on time. I'm not just dreaming these things. This is how I lived. I said, tonight, nobody's going. We're in Kitwe. I said, tonight, nobody's going. We'll order dinner here. I've taken the keys to that exit door, and we'll work and finish the job. What time did we finish? In the morning. In the morning, we called the media. We signed the transaction. That was the birth of CEC. CEC. That's how CEC was born. The Copper Belt Energy Company was born after many discussions through closing the door and buying dinner. The following morning, we had the media and we signed off. This is my character. And today you have a business which is worth over $2 billion. And somebody attempted to shut that business? Yes, in the previous government. When you elected us into office, one of the first businesses I went to visit was CEC. You don't shut businesses like that. And that business is owned by Zambians and the Zambian government. I think Zambian government is 35% shareholder. And is one of our best performing businesses giving dividends. We bet CEC in Kitwe on that day with different people there. And they were saying, I think that time I was only 30-something years. So everyone was saying, this boy is overworking us. I said, I'm in charge. Just finish it. One Zambia, one nation. We can do things. Engineers can do things. Clap for the engineers again. CDF is another opportunity you're not paying attention to. CDF, you engineers. Again, we're dependent on you. More classroom space, we're dependent on you. To build the class, to build the health centers, we're dependent on you. You are a lucky profession. Some of us have to fight for business, right? You have a business on your laps, but you don't see it. CDF with the new constituencies, that's why you saw me calculating there. It will be 9 billion kwacha in 2027. 9 billion kwacha. And we need you, the engineers. Dollar terms, close to $500 million. And the main tickets there is infrastructure. Engineers again. Mr. President, that's what you should be discussing in this meeting of yours. How do you access more of that and deliver quality projects? Properly costed, on time, isn't it? It's a beautiful discussion. Where I stand, a beautiful discussion. I think I've given enough examples, more than enough examples. And CDF was $1.6 million, 1.6 million kwacha per constituency. You think it's a joke we took it to 40 million? It's all well orchestrated. We want to take development in the regions, in the provinces. You, the engineers, follow the money there. Follow the projects there. And you'll be a happy lot. Right? With all the rambling I've done, I hereby declare this symposium and AGM officially open. Viva our engineers, viva! Viva! Viva our engineers, viva! Viva! God bless you and God bless our country. Thank you.
Mr. President, before you do take your seat, I request humbly that you step down from the platform to attend to the Engineering Excellence Awards. Just in front, down here. The Engineering Excellency Awards will also be followed by a presentation of a gift to the guest of honor. And I will call upon my co-MC Ntalasha to run us through the Excellence Awards. The rest of us can take our seats. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mercy. Mr. President, our awardees today are eminent men and women who have broken glass ceilings and have pushed the frontiers of engineering leadership and have paved the